Nothing sparks fear in the hearts of students more than hearing that there's going to be a test. But sometimes I remember that teachers would say there's going to be a test, and well, here's the study guide. And sometimes study guide even like, well, here's the answers. Okay, here are the questions, here are the answers. Here's what you need to know, here's what you need to learn, and then the test would come, and yeah, I mean, I'd studied it, and the teacher told me what to learn, and I learned it, and I knew the answers, and it actually was not all that stressful. Well, I'm always amazed that the apostles, the disciples around Jesus, when it comes to the events of Good Friday, the death of Jesus, his resurrection, uh, everyone seems to be reacting like this is like a pop quiz. Like, boy, nobody saw this coming. And yet, Jesus tells his apostles plainly exactly what's going to happen. I mean, he gives them the whole test ahead of time and says, get ready, this is what's coming. And today we get it pretty plainly right in our gospel. Jesus was going up to Jerusalem. This is from Matthew. And he took the 12 disciples aside by themselves, and he said to them on the way, here's the answers to the test, basically. He says, behold, we are going up to Jerusalem. Okay. And the Son of Man will be handed over to the chief priests and the scribes, and they will condemn him to death and hand him over to the Gentiles to be mocked and scourged and crucified, and he will be raised on the third day. But there it is. I mean, why, when all this comes about, then, does it seem like, oh my gosh, we never saw this coming? Well, of course, we give the apostles a break because, well, they don't have the Holy Spirit. This is the first time God has showed up in the flesh, and they don't exactly know how the Messiah and God and all that at the same time. Like, okay, so there's a lot that we can give the apostles a pass on. On the other hand, they're the answers to the test. All right. Well, even if we give the apostles a pass on not realizing that, oh my gosh, Jesus is crucified, didn't see that coming. Behold, we are going up to Jerusalem. They will hand him over and crucify him. And then they're like, oh, well, we think it's all over. Oh, this is the end. Jesus has been crucified. It's the end. And be raised on the third day. I don't know how they don't remember that, but eventually they do. Well, before we go beat up all the apostles over their lack of faith and lack of knowledge and lack of taking the answers to the test, let's just be honest and say, well, we do the same thing today. And we've got the Holy Spirit. Like, what do you mean we do it? Well, Jesus tells us, think not that you will have peace in this life. No, I've come not to bring peace, but the sword. Behold, they will hate you. Behold, they will hand you over. You will be put to death. It will lead to you giving witness, martyrdom for my name. Think not that I have come to bring peace. And yet, when the littlest thing goes wrong in our life, okay, and sometimes not little, sometimes even bigger things, what do? Like, oh, this isn't what I signed up for. This isn't what I thought would happen. This isn't why I became a Christian. Why doesn't God love me? Why doesn't he fix my problems? Why does he take away the suffering? Why does God allow so much suffering and pain? This isn't the God I wanted. Well, Jesus tells us plainly, if you follow me, you will have suffering. Great suffering in this life. The world will hate you. But have no fear, for behold, I have overcome the world. Wow, okay. There it is. There's the answer to the test. Not only is suffering not like, oh, something went wrong. Suffering is like, no, Jesus said, this is going to happen. If you follow me, it's not going to be easy. But have no fear, for I've overcome the world. Don't fear the world. Fear that you would lose your salvation in the next world. Fear that. But not only is something not according to plan if suffering comes, well, that's actually what Jesus promised. So let's pay attention to what the apostles got wrong. They were not ready when the test came because they didn't believe the teacher. Well, maybe we should believe the teacher. Suffering will come. And when it does, let's not act like we're all surprised and bent out of shape. It's not easy. I'm not saying like, oh, suffering, no big deal because it gets better. No, but let's grieve like those who have hope, to paraphrase St. Paul. No matter what we're grieving, let's do it knowing that this is not all there is. There is the world to come, and even the suffering we think is so horrible in this life, well, it doesn't last all that long. and pretty soon we're back happy again, and we forgot even what we were suffering about. So we got the answers to the test. What will we do with it? God bless you today.